I'd like to share with you an age-old Venda folk tale. The title is The Rejected Wife, Now Woman Victorious. Once upon a time, there was a Venda man who had 2 wives. The first wife had 5 sons. The man was very unhappy with his first wife because he knew that one day, when the boys grew up, they would marry and he would have to provide a bride price for every son. I will lose all my cattle. This first wife is going to bring me down to poverty. His attitude changed towards his first wife. He did not love her anymore. Now the second wife was younger and more beautiful. Furthermore, she had 5 daughters. The man was very pleased with this wife. He knew that one day, when the little girls grew up, their husbands would pay the bride price and his corral would be filled with cattle. This wife is going to make me rich and happy. So he loved her very much. The first wife found it increasingly difficult to live with her husband and his second wife because they made life so unpleasant for her. They actually wanted her to go away. What shall I do? She thought to herself. I'll make a plan. I'll go away and build my own house. The first wife built a hut for her and her 5 sons on an empty plot of land. The first wife had very little food and was very poor. In fact, she did not even have a hoe with which to till the soil because her husband never gave her anything. What shall I do? We cannot live on wild fruit only. I'll have to make a plan. She borrowed an axe from a neighbor and chopped a branch from an ironwood tree. Day after day, she carved a hoe out of the ironwood branch. Eventually, she returned the axe because she had made a hoe for herself. Winter was over. Early in the morning, long before dawn, she was already busy on her plot, digging out stones and clearing the land. When the first rains came, her mealies were already sprouting. Her husband and his second wife often stood watching her, tilling the soil with a wooden hoe. They laughed at this woman who would work with a wooden hoe. The first wife saw how they mocked her, but what could she do? Softly she sang to herself, I am the one with the wooden hoe, wooden hoe, wooden hoe. Yes, I am the one with the wooden hoe. Harvest time came. The first wife couldn't believe her eyes. She had a bigger harvest than she'd ever expected. Mealies, pumpkins, chilies, sugar beans, and tomatoes. Her sons helped. They picked the vegetables and carried everything home. And who did she find on the edge of her land early one morning? Her husband and his second wife. Looking around at the abundance of food, they were suddenly very friendly and tried to win her over. The first wife gave them one look and said, I am busy and I have no time for silly conversation. My sons and I have to finish picking the pumpkins in this land today. So please leave and don't ever put your feet on my land again. Futsiki. That last Venda word means get lost. The woman and her 5 sons gathered the harvest and they never went back to her husband and his second wife.